Now, Final Score on Fox 16.
And I'd often, through his tenure here, given Coach Pittman a lot of credit for how competitive we had been in the past 6 years. And he had gotten a lot of credit for those one-score losses, but at some point in time, as a director of athletics, I had to hold him accountable for those one-score losses as well. So just felt like it was time to make a change in the leadership of our football program.
Welcome into Final Score. I'm Paige Riley, and tonight we've got all the biggest highlights, top plays, and the latest storylines across the Natural State. But first, it's been the story all week. The University of Arkansas has fired head coach Sam Pittman. Their 56-13 loss to Notre Dame was seemingly the nail in the coffin for his time on the Hill. And you just heard from Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek about his decision. He made it clear that holding Coach Pittman accountable for those inexcusable losses was necessary. And for many fans, they believe the writing was on the wall for Pittman's firing with the way things have started this season for this program. And this weird week for Arkansas football continues, and now under interim head coach Bobby Petrino, 13 years after his first stint leading the Razorbacks. One of the most pressing questions surrounding the Arkansas team is how will Bobby Petrino reshape the mentality, especially on defense? And a hallmark of any Petrino-built program is having a well-coached, disruptive defensive line that can throw off any offense's rhythm. And for Petrino, it's about getting back to the basics and focusing on the fundamentals. He's made some key changes by starting hiring veteran NFL coach Jay Hayes to lead the defensive line. And additionally, Chris Wilson has been promoted to the interim defensive coordinator, while Kobe Shelby takes over as the interim offensive coordinator. And here's the message Petrino had to the team this week and the program changes.
I think in football, you have to always talk about courage and being courageous, and I think that's part of what we have to do now as a team, is understand that we all have to take the arrow in the forehead. You know, we didn't win Saturday. We didn't perform like we needed to offensively. We didn't do it defensively. We didn't come up with any big plays on special teams. So it's all of us, and we just got to get together and become one. You know, that's, I think, one of the issues we've had is the separation in offense and defense. We need to be able to come together as one unit.
And who's it going to be? That's the question on every Arkansas fan's mind right now. And in the ever-changing, evolving world of college football, we know that anything can happen and wild decisions are made all the time. Our sister station, KNWA, had the chance to sit down with one of the Board of Trustees members, Randy Lawson, who reassured fans, don't worry, there's plenty of interest in the job from several high-quality candidates.
You know, I think there's several names I've heard floated about, you know, people speculating, obviously, at this point. I have heard this, that multiple agents have already contacted, you know, our athletic director, Hunter Yurachek. And so from the feedback I've heard, and I'm not, you know, real close to all the action that's going on right now, but I have heard this, that we've got a significant, serious interest from very quality candidates from around the country.
And our sports director, Courtney Mims, joins us now to give her take on the coaching job. And Courtney, we know you've been around the Razorbacks for quite some time. Who do you think is most likely going to get this job?
Well, Paige, that's a great question. It's been just 1 week since Sam Pittman was fired, and so Courtney's coaching hot board is back once again. Let's jump right in to who I think could be the next head football coach at the University of Arkansas. All week long, I've been hearing that the front runner for this job looks to be SMU head football coach Rhett Lashlee right now. He's a guy with ties to NWA, as he grew up in Springdale and even played quarterback at Arkansas from 2002 to 2004. Now, he's been able to turn SMU into a top 25 program, leading the Mustangs to back-to-back 11-win seasons and a college football playoff berth in SMU's first year in the ACC. Another guy we've been hearing a lot about is Tulane head football coach John Summerall. He's going to be listed on quite a few coaching hot boards around the country, as he has the Green Wave rolling right now. They were 9-5 last season under him, now 4-1 to start off this year. He went to Troy before that and turned that program around instantly, going 23-4 in just 2 seasons in the Sun Belt. He's 36-10 as a head coach, so definitely not bad. Some other names we're hearing right now: UNLV head football coach Dan Mullen, who has had success in the SEC at Mississippi State and at Florida. And I'm going to throw this guy on there too because we've heard him mentioned a lot. Former NFL head coach Jon Gruden, who's currently not coaching. He's working for Barstool Sports. This week, Brett Favre tweeting about him, saying he wouldn't be surprised to see Gruden land at Arkansas because he could be a spark plug for the program. And of course, Bobby Petrino in the mix as well. He's expressed interest in the job and will be doing his best over the next 7 games to prove exactly why he should be the guy they go with. Paige, a lot of interesting names so far, but you never know with these coaching searches. Somebody could really surprise us. We shall see. We'll keep you updated every step of the way. But for now, let's send it back to you.
Thanks so much, Courtney. And like she said, the name that has been coming up a lot in this coaching search already has been Rhett Lashlee. Ahead of their game with Syracuse this Saturday, Lashlee was asked about the open position at his alma mater, and he said he hasn't given it much thought.
I don't stand anywhere on, speculation and hypotheticals. So I'm happy. I've got a great job. I think when your name gets linked to jobs, it means your team has done well, the program has done well. So it's a compliment to what our staff and administration and players have built over the last 3+ years. And then a lot of times there's obvious connections. I mean, if it's your alma mater, it's easy to link names. But I haven't given it any thought because there hasn't been anything to give thought to. It's a great, fair question, but I'm really excited with what we're building here.
That's a whole lot of talking from a coach who said he hasn't thought about the job. But speaking of coaches, has Butch Jones finally silenced the critics? Arkansas State pulls off a thrilling last-second win, and we'll show you the play that changed everything. Plus, how the rest of the Natural State fared in their college football matchups coming up next.
You're watching Final Score on Fox 16. You're watching Final Score on Fox 16.
What a win it was for Arkansas State last night. Those celebrations were the only things you heard last night in Centennial Bank Stadium as Arkansas State took down Texas State 31-30, snapping a 4-game losing streak and picking up their first win in the Sun Belt. So now the biggest question is, has Arkansas State head coach Butch Jones got himself off the hot seat? Well, the Red Wolves' remarkable win over Texas State has definitely taken some of the pressure off of him. So how did they pull off this amazing win against the Bobcats? If there's one name you need to know from this game, it's Jalen Raynor. His leadership in the final minute with 5 straight completions showed why he's got that it factor. This game came down to the wire in just a second. We're going to show you how the final play sealed that win for the Red Wolves. Jalen Raynor was nearly flawless, completing his final 20 passes of the game and going 16 for 16 in the 4th quarter alone. And with just 10 seconds remaining, it's Raynor on the read option straight to the end zone, and we're tied at 30. It was a 53-second scoring drive, and it's the absolute mayhem in Jonesboro, and the extra point is good for them, and that is how they were able to get their victory. But Raynor, he was incredible. Like I said, he finished the night 27 for 35, throwing for 248 yards and 2 touchdowns. What a game, and here's what Butch Jones had to say after the win.
We're playing with our 3rd center. I've never played with our 3rd center in a game before. And he did a great job. Noah Smith was making his first start. We had 3 old linemen out. We had to take 2 defensive tackles in the 3rd quarter and get IVs. And so when we talk about everybody laying it on the line, 16 years as a head coach, and you all have little endings of games that you always remember, but never been anything like this.
Awesome stuff from Jones there. Now to another in-state school as the University of Central Arkansas picking up a big 23-17 win last night over Utah Tech. Quarterback Austin Myers led the offense while Landon Chambers finished with 25 carries for 108 yards. But it was the defense that made the biggest difference last night, especially in the second half, led by Jacoby Shell and Travion Traylor. The defense came up huge, forcing a turnover on downs after a missed 53-yard field goal, which set up a scoring drive for UCA, and Ashton Williams anchored that defensive effort with 10 total tackles in the win. Here's what head coach Nathan Brown had to say about their victory.
It looked pretty? No. No. But a lot of times the great wins never look pretty. And I'll tell you this, when I called up the team and spoke to them, the 2 units that I singled out was our defense. But our defense got this win. Our defense made plays all night. They really kept them off balance.
And it was really a great weekend all around for the Natural State in college football with wins across the board. Harding was unstoppable at home, easily rolling to a 65-0 win over East Central University. Harding won 65-0. Then Arkansas Tech pulled out a 14-10 win over Southeast Oklahoma after last week's loss to Arkansas Monticello. This was a perfect opportunity for the Wonder Boys to get the confidence back as they look ahead to their next matchup. And lastly, OBU bounced back after their loss to Harding, picking up a 35-13 win over Oklahoma Baptist. The Arkansas Travelers season is over now, but Dickey-Stephens Park will be the place to be this upcoming weekend as they will host all 9 of the state's JUCO baseball teams for the Natural State Showcase. Our Courtney Mims has more details on the event coming up next.
You're watching Final Score on Fox 16. You're watching Final Score on Fox 16.
Welcome back to Final Score. You know, we have a lot of great guests on this show, and what's great about the Natural State is it's not just a few different sports or a few different colleges. There are so many things here when it comes to athletics and so many things that we get to highlight here on Final Score. And Dickey-Stephens Park, while the Arkansas Travelers may not be playing there, they're going to host a very big baseball event, the Natural State Showcase. That's coming up October 10th and 11th. And we have the guy here to talk about it, Chancellor of ASU Three Rivers, Steve Rook. Thank you so much for joining me today, Steve.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you for having us.
Let's talk about this event because it is huge.
I hope so, yes. That's our intent.
That's what you're trying to do. But I mean, right now, it has the makings to be a huge event because you are featuring the 9 different schools here with JUCO baseball programs in this showcase. Over 450 athletes. It's going to be insane. Talk about it.
Well, we want to expand the attention that our JUCO athletics is getting. Arkansas has really expanded JUCO athletics in the last 5 years. We've actually had one school that won a national championship 2 years ago in basketball. South Ark has been to the World Series 2 of their first 4 years. So we've got a lot of great programs going on. 14 of the 22 two-year colleges have some sort of athletic program, and like you said, 9 of those have baseball. And they will be showcasing the players and those programs next Friday and Saturday, thanks to the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery and the Arkansas Division of Higher Education. They're our big sponsors, and we couldn't do it without them.
So why did you want to do this? What was the idea behind this event? I mean, obviously, to give these athletes a platform, to let them be seen, but when you were creating this event, what was the intent behind it?
Well, the intent was to get more exposure for our JUCO athletics. like I say, National Park won the national championship 2 years ago, and there was very little attention about it. People didn't know about it. And states around us, like you and I have talked, have amazing JUCO athletic programs, and Arkansas is just a little bit behind on that, but we're catching up. So get to see those athletes. Also, you know, right now people are down on Division I athletics because of NIL and the money and all that sort of stuff. We have athletes that just want to play 2 more years. They're playing for the love of the game. Not a lot of them will go off and play at 4-year, but some of them, like Gage Wood, started out at the University of Arkansas at Rich Mountain for 2 years and then went to UALR and led the country in ERA his first year there. So there is a lot of talent that folks can get to see, and some great baseball that's happening at our JUCO 2-year colleges in the state.
And these athletes, over 450 participating in this event. They have big dreams too, right? They might be playing for the love of the game, but they might say, look at Gage Wood and what he was able to do. Maybe I can do that too. This event gives them a platform to be seen by maybe potential 4-year colleges or even some scouts, correct?
Absolutely. Chris Curry, who's the coach at UALR, is a huge proponent of JUCO athletics, and he will be there, and he really builds his roster off of 2-year college athletics. So he is thrilled that we're having these programs in the state. So yes, it gives the opportunity for players to show what they've got and hopefully either go to Division I, Division II to play, to continue their careers, or they just get that 2 years that they love what they're doing.
And you never know. You might go to this event and see a player that one day may be playing in the majors.
Absolutely.
I love that.
That's
I love that.
Great chance.
Steve, how can they get tickets? Where can they go to if they want to be a part of this event?
Go to Dickey Stevens Park on Friday. It's $5 all day.
$5
Saturday,
every
$5.
day.
Yeah, $5 each day. You can see 5 games on Friday. You know, skip work, play hooky, go see 5 great baseball games on Friday, and then Saturday see 4, all for just $5 a day.
You said it, not me. You can play hooky. You got to hear.
There you go. Absolutely.
You have a reason to be off work. Thank you so much, Steve, for coming by. We really appreciate you sharing all about the Natural State Showcase.
Yes.
I cannot wait to be there this upcoming weekend. I hope everybody comes out to Dickey Stevens Park and sees all the amazing baseball action that will be played there. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back after this with Final Score.
You're watching Final Score on Fox 16. You're watching Final Score on Fox 16.
Friday nights in the Natural State are always fun, but this week's Fearless Friday featured some of the biggest matchups of the season, and arguably the most interesting game Friday night was Sylvan Hills at Benton. I had the chance to go out and I was not able to keep my eyes off the game. I was able to see the phenomenal job both sides were able to do, especially in the second half.
We start things off, Tyler Hampton looking to get something going early, but pass picked off by Cordell Payne gives Benton amazing field position and plenty of momentum. Drew Davis airs it out to Easton Snellings in the corner of the end zone, and Benton strikes first, 7-0. Sylvan Hills answers. Hampton comes back and connects with the Kobe Brent. Extra point is no good to make it 7-6. Benton tries to keep the offense rolling. Sylvan Hills defense steps up. Ducey Jones come off the edge for a huge sack on Davis, swinging the momentum. At the goal line, Gunnar Deaton punches it in from 2 yards out, and after the touchdown, he celebrates by handing the ball off to the homecoming queen. But the ref didn't really like that, throws the flag for unsportsmanlike conduct. At the break, it's Benton 21, Sylvan Hills 14, a competitive matchup shaping up for the second half.
And I am now joined by sports reporter Chester Lucas to break down Friday night's big win. And not only has he covered both of these teams this season, he is also a proud Sylvan Hills alum and former player of the program. And Chester, you have played in this program. You watched it go through a 20-game losing streak. Then,
I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't a coach. I wasn't a player. I was there in 2016 when we were on a good winning road streak. So that's when I was there. Not during the two, we're going to call them the dark decades of Sylvan Hills.
Yeah. Then you got to watch Mark Kelly get hired as first-year head coach. How have you seen this program just transform, and what do you see from them this year?
It's night and day. Everybody at home, I need you to understand, being a Sylvan Hills Bear alumni, seeing those 2 years not getting a win, it was not a good time to be repping this Bear pride. I didn't have any pride at all, but when I saw Coach Kelly get hired, I thought that was great. I thought it was a great hire. I did a little research on him. I saw that he had a Boros Award for Assistant Coach of the Year. I saw that the Little Rock Touchdown Club also named him 6A Head Coach of the Year. So he knows how to win. Teams that he's been a part of, he has a 79-21 record. So a winning culture, and he's brought that to Sylvan Hills. Only one loss on the year for the Bears, and I was able to see their big win that they had over Russellville. So seeing them turn the season around and actually be winners again. Oh, I'm so happy to see that. I'm so happy to see that.
Yeah, no, and Tyler Hampton, he talked about how there's this huge confidence boost, and it feels like a completely different program. What do you think goes into, that type of coaching style in order to achieve that and get your players to believe in that mentality?
Well, first, it starts before for Hampton. We actually have a quarterback. This has been so many years. It's like, you can put somebody back there to call a play, get the ball, hand it off or whatnot, but actually having someone who plays the quarterback position, that's big that we're going to have for the Bear program. And for the head coach, Mark Kelly, like I said, it starts before he even got here. He had a winning culture established in his own right, a decade of coaching experience before he even got here. So him bringing that to Hillside and it being night and day, like I said, it's great to see Coach Kelly bring what he already knew he could do to Sylvan Hills. And so, hey, it's a lot of great things going on Bear Paw Road. And as a former Bear, still so happy to see it.
And of course, that wasn't the only game we had the chance to cover Friday night. Chester, he also got a look at what some may consider to be the best team in the state. Bryant, they faced Little Rock Christian Academy, and let's check out how Quad Sanders and his team performed Friday night.
It's homecoming for the Bryant Hornets and a big conference matchup with Little Rock Christian Academy on the road tonight. After a great pass by the Bryant offense, they're on the goal line, and with a handoff to Colin Robinson, he gets into the end zone for the first points of the game. Bryant is known for their explosive offense, and here's a big 70-yard run by T.J. Hodges. He's running down the sideline, and he gets that breakaway speed and gets the Hornets up 14-0 in this matchup. Little Rock Christian Academy, they're ready to score, and they pull out a trick play for the big boy. Touchdown, D.J. Williams, a Warriors defensive tackle, getting some shine on the offensive side of the ball. The Warriors will get another touchdown just before the half, tying this game 14-14.
The final score of that game was 49-21, Bryant getting the win in Chester. Just quick reaction from you. What are the chances that Bryant wins the state championship today?
Oh, I think they're going back-to-back. They got one last year. Coach Quad Sanders, I talked to him. I was like, what is it like going day-to-day in practice, and what do you see future for your program? He said, hey, it's one game at a time. I talked to him after the game. He said, I don't even know who we're playing next. But I think they're gonna do great. I think they're gonna get back-to-back state championships.
Awesome. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Sunday on Final Score.